as it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them. Governments are instituted among men, and it was about the whole thing, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. Now, that's not rally cry like open car guns and tear everything down and shoot up the streets. And that's how I think a lot of people will acknowledge that. It's not even meant to give you emotional rights. It's a recognition that there's precedent within our law for us to do something. Then we have to think very strategically and wisely about how to do that. So, what might that look like? I'm going to pose this to you. Local civil authorities and colonial leaders, legislators, and representatives during this time of the Declaration of Independence recognized how their authority had become destructive of justice, and instead of passive compliance, they interposed. They did not act as private individuals in chaos. They acted as lawful magistrates within their jurisdictions. They issued formal declarations. They documented grievances. They withdrew cooperation from unjust authority, and they established a new legal posture rooted in justice. Now, for us here today, the Declaration is not merely a statement of separation. How many more time do I want to put close? A couple more minutes. Let's see how fast I can go through this here. Now, I know. I'm going to try to go really quick here. So let's bring this down a little bit. There's three realms that we want to make sure that we impact as Christians to bring an end to abortion: law, culture, and conscience. And they basically all have to operate simultaneously. Like you all operate and do them at the same time, right? You don't have to pick one and get started together. You do all of them in a little different ways. Law is the formal standard of justice and society enforces. Culture is the shared system of beliefs, values, and practices that shape how people think, live, and act. And then conscience has to do with the internal moral goodness that different from. First, we have law. If law is not shaping the worldview, then law must be implemented right at the local level. So this means city councils, county boards, district attorneys, and sheriffs. I remember during the election, I was with a group of people, and we went to the county board of supervisors, and we said, "Yeah, so it was totally awful." Unfortunately, we had, I think it was Robert Thomas. He was a retired judge. He wrote a legal document that we passed out in 56 counties here in California saying, "This is illegal. There's no vote ID. There's no way to certify who's going to vote in. We can't pass this." We ended up calling on the CRA Meeting to come and record us and call us a threat to democracy. But they actually admitted something, which is that they could do something, okay, but they didn't come under fines and everything like that. So, the focus for Christians, especially on the people in office, should be building relationships with your sheriffs, your district attorneys, your city council, your county board of supervisors, and then working at a local level, like I would say, like the big stop. And he said, "We are not going to allow abortion to happen in this city. We're not going to allow it at all. We're not going to make it protected, and we're actually going to completely oppose it. That clinic over there is going to get shut down." There's a lot of legal steps I just kind of outlining right here, but they can do that. And what they can cite, I believe, is important in that. The right to life, equal protection for everyone. Because the only way that I think we're going to really see a defeat to any of the laws here in California is going to be by forcing their hand and making them bring us to court and take it all the way up to the Supreme Court so that we can then address the Supreme Court on the question of the status of the child. It's pretty much going to be going back. I can tell you, like, for me, being in front of an abortion clinic, I've had hundreds of interactions with police officers. I was sent fines in the mail unlawfully. I had the mayor and the city council getting together trying to pass all the protective sound ordinances and things like that to try to shut it down. And we persisted, and we just kind of continued to win and see lots of people saved. Very disruptive thousands of dollars for abortion. But that will not end abortion, and neither will pregnancy clinics. And we must be convinced that this has to happen at the level of law in California. We have to do that for pregnancy. So, yeah. And of course, as Christians, we want to win the hearts of the people. So continue to keep sharing the gospel. But that's all in your position. I'm not sure all of y'all, but bless us, y'all. Thank you. I think one of the most useful things that we can do right now, this is my ambition, so if you were able to help me with this, it'd be awesome, is to march through the streets, but to leave leaflets at people's doorsteps that begin a conversation about this issue in a much more impactful way. In about 40 minutes, with about 40 people, we ended up passing out 600 flyers within a neighborhood around the land that there's a front just a couple weeks ago. Then I just imagine what we had 1,000, 20,000, 30,000 people all over the place, leafleting, their neighborhoods. And the reason I say that is because when you practice resistance and you want to wake the culture, you have to inform, you have to engage, and this might sound funny, you have to engage. And when I say that, I don't mean going around making people really mad. It's the kind of righteous indignation is what I mean by using that one word. When people see mass graves and tons of people who have been killed, there's just something about that no longer needs argument. It becomes very clear. We all work by hearing and touching, but also by seeing. If we were to leave leaflets at people's doorsteps with contact information, and I would argue that it's imagery, that will leave a lasting impression on anyone who sees it. And it has saved countless lives. From my own experience, talking with this girl, she's hoping to have the abortion. I showed her the imagery. She was going to head inside. She knows the problems with me. She looks at everything we have, all about the resources. Sees the activity that we can see that she's done. She goes inside. She's on the operation table. She gets off the operation table. She comes out. She's just sharing with me how she's down with her baby. She said, I couldn't do it. If you can do it, she's burned. On the road. And that's it. That's a great analysis. I think a lot of the pro-life community, I think everybody just wants to see this in the end. They get asked the question like, okay, how much more bullets like this happen? I feel like we have enough people here to just say this is wrong and this ended. And there's a lot of compromise within the pro-life movement right now, unfortunately. I think a lot of people just don't even know that. So that's great. I have a heart. I know that here. Does anyone else have any other questions?
We do play a little bit of that video.
Coming up, I just want to tout that book, Dr. Lesson Bad Streets, which Mr. Shoemaker brought to us about 5 years, 6 years ago. I forget it, a long time ago. Go ahead now. Actually, we gave it to the board supervisors, we gave it to the school board members. I don't know if they read it, but we gave it to them. Doctor the rest of us magistrate.
What Christians often don't understand in the culture wars and in the fight for life is that abortion is not just one issue among many. Abortion is almost the linchpin upon which the liberal establishment swings. But what happens when you pull out a linchpin? The door falls off.
It takes a long time to go from few intellectual beliefs and bad ideas to bring those ideas into the culture more and more and more until they bear fruit. The answer how we got here is because of the silence and the action of the church.
Somebody might say, well, Margaret Sanger, she didn't point out that she was doing. Well, first of all, you wrote about herself, and she wrote what her plans were. So
where it all started is here. This hangar opened up for unlicensed, illegal bird control in 1960. Studying the past, not just to understand what happened then, but to understand what's happening now. This is a Leviathan house. It's a fitting place to remember what happened when bad ideas are taken to their logical conclusion.
anybody for congressional district?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me here. A little of my background. I'm a 20-year Navy veteran. 1984, 2004. I was serving the country overseas, cruisers and destroyers all around the world 2.5 times, making sure America was safe. While I was doing that, I was assuming everything back here in the United States was going well. Evidently, it hasn't been. So that's why after I retired, to see what was actually going on. California, I've been in California since 1985, but across the West Coast, the East Coast, everywhere in between, I was appalled. And I got mad, and I decided that Grandpa needs to get up off the couch and do something about it for not only my grandkids, but your grandkids too. So, people ask me how long have you been a politician? I'd be embarrassed to be a politician. I'm not a politician. I'm a problem solver. I've been solving problems for the last 50 years. When things get rough and you need somebody to take care of business, they always call me, and I make sure you got jobs and money to run up. And that's the same attitude I take towards the problem. In this case, that California has, and I'll make sure that the solutions are there and I turn this state around like it should be. I'm not going to have somebody force me out of California to Arizona or Nevada or any other state. I choose to stay here because I want to be here. And just because things aren't looking too well right now, it's time for everybody, like Kenneth said, stand up, walk the streets, talk to everybody, stop turning the other cheek, and say enough is enough. As far as I'm concerned, God is first for me. I ask Him every day, 10 times every day, to give me the strength and courage to say and do the right things. Then after that, the family values. I'm sorry that you didn't get brought up the right way. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not going to spank you, but we need to go back to family values. God, family values, everything we do correctly. So I'm here to make a difference. I got involved in 2023. I'm trying to get rid of shit. It didn't work that way. I ran a senator. I took a year off to get my head back together because it was discouraging. It's a lot of work doing this. Candidates know that. And I'm ready to go again. I'm focused. I know who I can count on. I give people opportunities. They want to help fine. They don't want to. That's fine too. But I know there's a lot of people out there with the right attitude. Let's get the job done. Thank you. Carter Crossing, Congress, my website is Americans4CA.com. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
All right, we're going to do, now we're going to do the C7. So I'll ask Zach or Good evening, everybody. My name is Zach. My name is Zach. County, as well as Colorado and Sacramento, specifically San Joaquin County, parts of Lodi, as well as a lot of the unincorporated area in the western and northeastern part of San Joaquin County, as well as the northern part where I live, Woodbridge. We're saying, yeah, so Lodi, Woodbridge, and Palo as well. I'm humbly requesting your endorsement for my candidacy. I know that there has to be one not solely because of my long-standing Republican affiliation or my foundation of conservative values, but rather because I, as a candidate, stand starkly against all that is wrong with the status quo of who are the tasks that we go on challenge. And then what can be done right if Republicans continue to control the House, continue to fulfill the electoral mandate of supporting President Trump, and to an even greater extent, pass the
Nearly every generation before my own has had a majority. After all, a dream in which Californians after all, with such a beautiful and hopeful environment, where summer you need to could, in fact, build a livelihood and raise a family. For many of you, I'm sure, the state continues that promise. But that promise can be said as faded. I don't think I need to tell you how eroded that promise has become, that many of my generation appears to fall into the siren song of socialism. The siren song that is regrettably playing an ever greater fervor. They have been taught by our captured institutions that the solution to recovering the opportunity that is lost to us Americans, the president, for the future, rests in a discredited system that punishes the successful, restrains the innovator, shuns the bold, and denies people, culture, values, and the art and yet, despite being presumed pessimists, many of my peers feel strongly. It's not merely because of this contrast, but success compared to the other fiscal It is in part because of Trump making America great again, putting America first, us a bold vision of what we can be again. It offers a return to the risk-taking, the boldness, the innovation that built this country, and most importantly, offers something different than what the status quo democratic burden us with. In short, we, and I'm sure all of you, want something. I'm strongly supportive of the President and his cabinet's efforts to renew the promise of America, not just for my generation, but for all those who have come before and for those who will come after. To paraphrase the word, but that cannot come without Congress willing and able to codify the results that have been provided thus far and can be provided should the GOP successfully come in the House. If elected, I will work vigorously. To some of you, my age and experience may be a source. I will say that I am proud of my years-long background as a local leader on my community's municipal advisory board and my background in policy advocacy. And I know I will bring not just serious or novel solutions, but tangible ones to what issues we face, from the farms to the suburbs. Before hesitant, I ask you to remember who my opponents are. The incumbent Democrat, who has been in office since for a long time, and the challenger, a leftist fire. The former anticipates that she will soon take over her seat as law for her, including communities she's never before herself. The latter wants to personify all the bad habits of her party's ongoing left. Of these options, we do not want a serious candidate to oppose them, who embodies the ambition of the next generation, while tempered with the wisdom of our past. Who in these traits is proud to run on definitively and vigorously supporting the ongoing mission to return America to the dynamism from which all Americans can benefit as that long-held promise once was. I dare to venture, if you would, and to paraphrase our president, simply put, we have to promise. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. God bless you all.
All right, and also running in CD7, we've got Robbie? Something like that, Rob.
Yes, that's correct. Thanks for having me here. My name is Rob, and I am one of the candidates, the two candidates that remain now for California District 7. And this is my first time today, so I was last week here in the South. I was actually last week here at South, so I'm in South, not living in South. And I live in Sacramento now, I'm practicing and traveling in Sacramento. And so, what I wanted to talk about today, I have my papers that I brought, it's actually at the back, so if you wanted to get flyers, you can candidates. So what I wanted to talk about today is for District 7, after the redistricting. Right now, it's more Republican than other people. And so, I wanted to talk about the primary election that is coming up on June 7th, and what we Republicans are supposed to do. See, in this election, age is elephant. And the reason for
that is because the income the responsibility she's able. First of all, she doesn't want, she doesn't want to go to competition. And so in the primaries, also my counterpart that's running for Mr. Woody, that's running for the same position. His age is also a bit of an issue, he's in his 20s. And so to quote, to paraphrase Ronald Reagan, when he was having his campaign debates with Walter Mondale in 1984, he said, I will not use for political advantage the youth and the experience of my opponent. So basically, I'm not going to do all that, but we all know that Masui is going to do that in the general election. And we have to avoid that. So to avoid that, Republicans have to put a person that can be able to prosecute the case of Doris Masui. I can do that. I've been a prosecutor. I worked as a prosecutor in Kern County, Bakersfield. I also worked as a public defender in LA. I'm a local attorney here. I practice family law, criminal defense. I also do civil litigation. But the whole idea is just for us to be able to put in a candidate that can be able to defeat the opposition and actually ensure that the Republican Party has the seat, gets to keep the seat for a long time. Now, the way they have it set up now, if Masui wins, if she wins, most likely in 2 years, she's going to already. And then the people, the Democrats, the ones that are waiting in line, they'll just take over the position. And if that happens, we won't have the capacity of getting that seat back. We need to get the seat back. We, the people, have to fight the right person. We are not supposed to talk about the right person. The case of the responsibility and ensure that she will be found unfit for office. Thank you. On pro-life.
Assembly District 9, we have a friend.
Hello everybody, I'm Brandon. I use all of these very, very fast. That being said, I just want to get a little bit about myself. I'm a construction manager in this house, in this area. That I'm going against. However, we have gamesmanship. That being said, I'm 42, I'm a father of 3 boys. Been married for 21 years. I was born in Elk Grove, so I'm right here up the hill or up the road a little bit. I currently live in Harold, California. If anybody doesn't know where that is, it's slightly east of Gulf. So why am I running? Well, accountability. I'm tired of looking at the computer screen, the TV screen, the telephone, and seeing the destruction of our country by both sides. Both sides are destroying our country. We have been divided as a party. We have been divided as a country for some time. And accountability is on our way. I think the Epstein files recently are a big part of acknowledging that. And I'm not here to talk about national issues, but I think that that's really on the way, and people have no moral compass or moral ground in politics. So I want to bring that back. I want to spearhead it right to the front of the room. The elephant in the room was age. I think that it may be used against some people. Not standing up for what's right and wrong is extremely important. And right now, in California recently, convergent, I'm sorry, congressionally, convergent put through a bill had was of 535 congressional members, I want to say approximately 60 voted to protect women's rights of congressional, senator, employees. The rest were all against protection of women's rights from sexual harassment. 53, I believe, were from California. So I don't understand how you cannot stand up for women without protecting yourself. That to me is disgusting. And we need to attack that problem head on. In recent days in California, big win for California and for the Republican Party. If you guys aren't familiar, the Ninth Circuit of California has ruled in favor of swordsmen with the Juvenile Act. They were trying to prevent higher education and things like that. So the Ninth Circuit overturned that decision, and we can now offer higher education to the youth again based off of that ruling. So it's a huge win for swordsmen and firearm owners in the Republican Party. So that being said, that's just something that happened. Other than that, I'm just here to be a face and accountable. I have every intention of being accountable to the decisions of every county that I will represent. I'm not asking for you to vote for me because of anything other than accountability and the fact that I have the ability to understand and interpret law. I've been in law enforcement prior to what I do now, and I understand interpretation of regulation and enforcement of regulation. And I think that's where we really fall short in the assembly. They create laws, and they don't understand the interpretation and enforcement of these laws. So that being said, vote for Brandon, vote for Jim if that's the case. Good college try.
Brandon, the question of the day, are you pro-life?
My brother's sitting here.
So, pro-life on conception.
Absolutely. This is not a
Okay. Let's go with Lauren. Lauren is going to be running for yeah. Okay. What do you think?
Again, hi, good afternoon. I'm Lauren Cardinale, and I am the defender of South Lee County. I'm state champion of basketball, and I take that to heart. Right now, I'm missing a few games for you people, so please look to that. Just saying, they're coming to Sacramento, and we will all be in. But you have to take my inspiration photo first, because I want to remember your faces. Ready? You can make a goofy face if you want. Ready? 1, 2, 3, hey! So, I first like to pray to our Heavenly Father in the Father and Son and Holy Spirit. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Give us this day our daily bread. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Now, for that action, I've been doxxed by the FBI and the CIA and have been involved for the past 4 years since 2022 as per the Legal State of California. I've been terrorized on my faith and I'm thinking of that crime. I'm also a mother of 4 beautiful children that I share with my father. But the good thing is that I get to hang out with their agriculture division, who's his best friend in school, and I get to hang out with them anyway, so that's going to be fun this summer. Keeping mine is at a crossroads, and dream. So if a 6-year-old child is saying this, you know, it's real. I have a dream that the homeless have a home and are safe. They're doing it wrong, and they're doing it wrong because they're profiting off of poor people. They're profiting off poor people and making themselves middle class, and it's wrong. It costs $60,000 to get a tiny home, and Gavin Newsom's executive branch spent more than how many million? You call that? Who knows now? How many, Jim? $24 million, and people sleep on the streets so my daughter sees them pass out and take them to school. That is wrong. It's right and it's wrong. My other policy has to do with my Catholic faith. My vision of what my faith is different for every Catholic. It is a very difficult conundrum. If you've never watched sheep homes, you will see the institution of socialism integrate our church and destroy our institution of harm children. No one in my faith that I know in the Diocese of Stockton wants children to be harmed. I've been slandered. I've been called a loose cannon. That means I'm over the target. I'm a laser-guided missile system, and they know. I will also be legislating where Roger, who said this? It's in area and studio. So Tacitus said that Nero and Charlie Kirk embodied that and everything he did without wrath and passion. I'm a little determined. I'm also a redhead, so it comes out sometimes.
That's correct.
And my name is Barb and Ollie. So it's a name for Eastland, and I have a name my family is a Michigan. Barb and Ollie means love the right house. So I really would just like to have your support for the defense of the family, the defense of everything we do. And to answer your question, I think I can do better because I become liked. Not only do I believe that people have the right to life and but if we as a society are to say that something is wrong, we cannot prosecute that crime. That's very tight to road the law. But how can we say something is wrong if we as a society do it to those who commit crimes? So Mr. Singh and I were up at the World War hearings, and I advocated against Judge Tyro, and I'll be prosecuting him with the police and district court for trying to allow child So again, Lauren Cardinale, District 2 Supervisor.
Who's there to give out your district 9? You can raise your hand, you want to see. You change mine.
Hello everyone. Thanks for having me here. My name is Amit, and originally came from part of India, Punjab, 30 years ago, and I'm 60 now, and I'm a father. My son, he served for US Army, and I have a daughter, she's married, and I have a 6-year grandson. Then that's the thing, I really like to be served for the country. We want to see everybody happy, all Americans happy and healthy and strong. And united we stand. That's our goal, to save our country, to save our children, to save our family. That's the whole thing. And in whole 435 House representative seats, I'm the only Sikh with a turban Punjabi running for. And we never ever have any Sikh Punjabi with a turban in House representative. And we have a 68 days to go for the binding. And Lawrence Cardinali has taken all 50% of my burden. Okay, then I need 50% more. Then, each one we little by little, and then we can go for the journal, and then with the journal, then we can save the seed, because compared to like a difference between Republican registered voter, like a Democrat registered voter, like 80,000 votes difference. We have to have 100,000 votes, and we can save the seat. We can save our house. That's all I need from you. God bless you, and God bless you.
Running for city council. All right. We're not going to really endorse the positions right now for the city council and the school board. They're trying to do the primary first. What we do with all heroes.
You know what happens when you end up buying the I don't know how you do it. That county just you wouldn't realize thank you very much for your time. I have such a unique background because I grew up in San Francisco. I met my wife for over 3 years ago. I moved here. I felt like a parachute. So I was just back home. I don't know what it's like, but I just feel like it's like and I was very lucky part of that community. And I'm lucky to have part of our exhibition. It's a blood eye. Chamber. Yeah, that's all. And I was very content. And if I don't have a bucket list, I didn't have one so why did I take targets? Because I started seeing liberal progressive ideas. I am an excellent reader of those things. They ruined my city, right? And I started seeing them come in here in Lodi, believe it or not. And when you see it, because I interact with the city so often, I work in the shopping center, and it's just hard. And we're all involved, and it happened at staff. Because when we were voting citywide, it really had to be a pretty good so we decided to send our staff at the department where they wanted to change our community planning, our building process, how it works. And if you read that, and some of it, and I remember when not long ago, I went up to the executive suites at a meeting. There was a very unhappy which I thought I had left. And she turned out to be a pretty so, while we've been successful at keeping some of those value changes that they away until we got to see elections, which I don't believe was about representation as much as it was now having an opportunity. So since that time, we've had to change the council. We have a good council, but and what cemented it for me was I went to the city council. Our city council saw that to discuss about the city of Lodi looks like that. And when I walked in, I saw these people burn out, sign, waiting, people running back. I can't think running back to San Francisco. And they were there to come near our city council. Want to have a conversation about what we should recommend. But it's really lots of to be successful in these small districts. So that law had maxed out people to run. And so, again, I thought I would do it at this stage of my life, but it's too important for me to see the community not repeat mistakes. So that's why I wrote all these meetings. Appreciate any support, guys. Or advice, give me books. You want me to read? If you have other advice, I'm happy to take it. I think I'm all very much.
We wanted to recognize she made her run for CD 89. John running for CD 9, for I. MS. We've heard you come before and talk about you. We are running a little late, but that's okay. The thing of it is that these people are stepping up and doing something that probably most of us don't want to do. And so we do need as a group to get behind them, support them financially, help them with whether they need walking pieces, and that's what we can do. Most of us are going to put ourselves out there and run these offices and share help. With that, I think what I want to do is just go through some of the old business items, unless there was anything else you would add on the candidates. You can want to ask any questions of me